noise of the rushing world, a gentle voice, a story unfurled, wisdom from a distant shore, opening a brand new door.
The air has a different texture today. As I look out the window, I can feel the season quietly shifting its weight, like a sleeper turning over in the dark. Perhaps for you, the breeze carries the faint, sweet promise of blossoms waiting to burst, or maybe it holds the crisp, earthy scent of leaves preparing to fall. Regardless of which seasonal threshold you stand upon, I want to start by saying you did well today. You've carried your burdens, walked your miles, and now I invite you to set it all down. Imagine we are sitting together, the steam rising from a warm cup of tea, filling the silence between us with a soft, comforting haze. Today, I want to share the heart of a woman who has been a steady companion to millions for over half a century. Her name is Young Hee-eun. In Korea, she is a legend, a voice that defined an era with the purity of morning dew. But these pages aren't about the glamour of the stage. They are like a series of gentle, handwritten letters from a friend who has walked the path before us and turned back to hold the light. Her life was never a smooth road. She faced the biting shadows of poverty and a terrifying diagnosis of ovarian cancer at the age of 30. Yet she emerged, not with bitterness, but with a refined, dry wit and a soul as sturdy as an old oak. Through her books, So Be It, and It's Quite Okay to Get Older, she delivers a deceptively simple message: the art of letting go. We often view aging as a series of subtractions, losing our youth, our memory, our social standing. We fret over the maps etched into our skin. But Yang suggests that aging is actually a grand liberation. It is the moment we finally escape the prison of other people's expectations and step into the sunlight of our true selves. As I spent time with her words, I realized how much energy we waste trying to be enough for a world that is never satisfied. This story is for you, whether you are in the halftime of your life, looking for a second wind, or a young soul, just beginning to navigate the complex terrain of adulthood. Let's walk slowly into the blunt, sincere, and deeply moving comfort of a master who knows that life, in all its messiness, is a gift worth keeping. The first story. The magic of So Be It. For the longest time, I lived my life as if I were perpetually on stage. Even when the curtains were closed, I was constantly glancing at the invisible audience, wondering if my voice was too loud, my choices too bold, or my failures too visible. Young Hee-eun confesses that she, too, spent decades under this heavy cloak of self-consciousness. Whether she was singing behind a microphone or hosting her long-running radio show, a small, nagging voice always asked, "What will they think of me?" But one day, the weight simply became too much to carry, and she discovered a magical incantation that changed everything. So Be It, or in her raw, unfiltered Korean, Gurora Gure. Think about the power in those few syllables. When someone whispers behind your back, or when a stranger judges a choice they don't understand, our instinct is to defend, to explain, to ache. I've spent many sleepless nights replaying conversations, trying to sharpen my words into a shield. But Yang teaches us that we don't have to catch every arrow fired at us. We can simply step aside and let them fly past. So be it. If they misunderstand, let them. If they dislike you, let them. This isn't a sign of coldness. It is an act of profound self-preservation. It is recognizing that their opinion is their business, and your peace is yours. Her conviction didn't come from a place of privilege, but from the fires of hardship. Born in 1952, she became the breadwinner for her family at a young age, carrying a burden far too heavy for her narrow shoulders. And then, at 30, an age when life is supposed to be in full bloom, she was told she had 3 months to live. When you stand at the edge of the abyss, the noise of the world suddenly mutes. In the shadow of death, she realized that the petty judgments of others are nothing but dust. The miracle wasn't in being famous. The miracle was the next breath, the warmth of a bowl of rice, the sheer fact of existence. I find myself practicing this mantra in the quiet moments of my own day. When the world demands more than I can give, I whisper, "So be it." It acts as a garden fence, keeping the weeds of external validation from choking my inner flowers. To become a true adult is to stop allowing strangers to plant thorns in your heart. Yang's voice reminds us that we are not here to satisfy a checklist designed by society. We are here to live our own truth. If you want to say no to a request that drains you, say it. If you want to wear something that others deem inappropriate for your age, wear it. Being honest about what you like and what you hate isn't arrogance. It's a basic courtesy to your own soul. She spent her youth trembling in the wind, but now she stands like a mountain. The world can shake, but she remains. There is such dignity in her refusal to perform a forced smile. It's a reminder that your life belongs to you, not to the spectators. The second story. The flowering of 70 years. People often ask if aging feels like a slow mourning for the past. Yang Hyun smiles and gives an answer that feels like a splash of cold, refreshing water. No, I think 70 is a beautiful, flowering age. We are conditioned to see the number 70 as the sunset, the fading glow of a day nearly done. But she describes it as the most brilliant spring she has ever known. The reason? The end of the duty to prove. Reflect on your younger years for a moment. They were likely a relentless marathon of proof. You had to prove you were a good student, a capable professional, a devoted parent, a successful citizen. You had to prove your worth every single day. But reaching the plateau of later life brings a delicious, intoxicating freedom. You no longer have to prove anything to anyone. If you're clumsy, you're clumsy. If you're tired, you're tired. You can finally show the world your unpolished self and say, "This is who I am. Take it or leave it." There is a profound sweetness in that surrender. Of course, the physical reality of time is unavoidable. Yang speaks with a humorous, grounded honesty about her body's betrayals. The eyes grow dim, the knees begin to creak, and a simple flight of stairs becomes a mountain. But instead of grieving, she chooses a different perspective. If her eyes are failing, perhaps it's nature's way of telling her to stop squinting at the trivial details and focus only on what truly matters. If her legs are heavy, it's a signal to walk slowly and actually see the landscape she's been rushing through for 50 years. I felt a deep sense of relief reading these reflections. It changed my view of the mirror. We often see aging as a process of losing, but what if it's a process of refining? It's about stripping away the unnecessary noise to strengthen the internal muscle of the spirit. She no longer attends gatherings out of a sense of obligation. She no longer maintains toxic relationships for the sake of appearances. She has claimed the freedom of refusal. Her time is finally her own, and she guards it like the precious treasure it is. When she looks at the wrinkles in her reflection, she doesn't see flaws. She sees medals of honor. Each line is a record of a laugh shared, a tear shed, a battle won. Nothing was earned for free. Those lines are the typography of a life lived with intensity. I think we should all look at ourselves with that same tenderness. The tightness of youth is striking, yes, but it lacks the depth of a face that has weathered the seasons. Maturity has its own light, a soft, golden glow that doesn't blind, but warms everyone it touches. Don't sigh when you see the passage of time on your face. You are becoming a masterpiece, sculpted by the years. Your 70, your 80, can be just as vibrant as your 20, perhaps even more so, because the fragrance of a mature soul is far more enduring than the fleeting scent of a bud. The third story. The sanctuary of the ordinary. The way Young Hyun describes her daily life is a masterclass in self-respect. Her days are remarkably simple. She wakes up, opens the windows to let the stagnant air out, and takes her dogs for a walk through the neighborhood. When she returns, she prepares a meal, not a feast for guests, but a deliberate, beautiful meal for herself. She buys seasonal vegetables, seasons them with care, and places them on her best plates. She refuses to just get by with a quick snack or a bowl of leftovers eaten standing up. Even when she is alone, she dines with dignity. This struck a chord deep within me. How often do we put in tremendous effort to host others, yet treat ourselves like an afterthought? We use the chipped mugs and eat the scraps, saving the best of our energy for everyone else. But Yang insists that cooking a proper meal for oneself is a declaration. I am a person worthy of being cherished today. That quiet time spent savoring the warmth of a spoonful of rice is an act of survival. It is the fuel that allows her to continue. Happiness, she suggests, isn't waiting for us at the end of a grand achievement. It isn't a trophy we win. It's found in the texture of the present moment, the way the sunlight hits the kitchen floor in the afternoon, or the crispness of the air during a morning walk. When we are chasing success, we are often blind to the world right in front of us. But when we slow down, the world reveals its secrets. She finds joy in the changing temperature of the air, the expression of a nameless wildflower by the road, the sound of rain against the glass. These small discoveries are the lifeblood of her vitality. When life feels like it's spinning out of control, we often look for grand philosophies to save us. But she points us toward the power of ritual. Setting the table, walking the same path every day, writing in a journal before bed. These are the bones of a life. They provide structure when the heart is weary. If your mind is noisy, try tidying your room. If your soul feels cold, cook something warm. By tending to our surroundings and our bodies, we quiet the storms inside. I've learned from her that I don't need to be somebody to have a meaningful life. I just need to be present. We are so busy worrying about the future or mourning the past that we neglect the only reality. We actually possess this very breath. Today, I want to ask you, what have you done for yourself lately? Have you been neglecting your own heart's hunger because you were too busy? Take a page from her book. Speak kindly to yourself. Treat yourself to a beautiful moment, however small. When we awaken our senses to these tiny joys, our lives become rich in a way that money can never buy. These small happinesses, when gathered together, create a fortress of peace that no external chaos can penetrate. As we bring this conversation to a close, I hope these echoes of Young Hyun's wisdom have left a small spark in your heart. We are all living this life for the first time. No one is an expert at being 40 or 60 or 80, because we've never been there before. It's okay to be a bit clumsy. It's okay to take a wrong turn or move a little slower than the person next to you. As long as you carry that umbrella of "so be it" with you, you can walk through any storm without being soaked to the bone. If you find yourself fearing the years ahead, please remember this time might take away the smoothness of your skin, but it gives you the clarity of a sharp eye and the softness of a generous heart. Youth is a spark, but maturity is a steady flame. You are shining more beautifully right now than you ever have, precisely because of everything you've endured. Look in the mirror tonight and give yourself a genuine smile. Tell yourself, you know what? Getting older is actually quite all right. Lay down your worries for tonight. Sleep deeply, knowing that tomorrow is a fresh canvas, a new chance to exist simply and beautifully. May the solid, sincere comfort that Yang Hee-eun has cultivated through 50 years of song and struggle settle into your soul tonight. I will return soon with more stories to hold your heart. Until then, stay healthy, stay kind to yourself, and may your night be as peaceful as a quiet forest. I am rooting for you in every season of your life. Rest well.